This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Top of the morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is December the 19th, 2022, and Joe Biden is still the worst U.S. president in history. I am Addul Ali, and you are checking out Top of the Morning. I hope you got yourself a good cup of coffee. As always, I'm flexing in my Urban Conservative mug. I hope you all have had a wonderful, great, and fantastic weekend. We've got a lot of stuff to get to. First, I need to sip this. So, folks, I want to give a big shout out. Last night, I had the opportunity to go kick it with my lodge, with St. John's Lodge number 204 in Kannapolis, North Carolina. They had their annual banquet. And big up to my friend Kenny Wortman, County Commissioner, for coming through to check out St. John's Lodge, to meet with some community leaders and to hear from people directly. That's what we need more of, is elected officials willing to come and sit down with the folks that they represent. So big up to them. Also, Saturday, we had our North Carolina Black Conservative Voices first annual Christmas party. And folks, got to tell you, we had a really good time. If you're in North Carolina, I know there was a lot of conflicting things going on. We had our state executive committee, and then we had our Christmas party up in Raleigh, which is like a 2.5, 3-hour drive. So people were kind of skirting all over the road, but we had a fantastic turnout, a wonderful time. A lot of hard work went into this year's elections. I had a chance at the executive committee meeting to talk to now U.S. Senator, can't wait to hear more from that, but now U.S. Senator Ted Budd, a very good friend of the show and a friend of the platform. But folks, let me tell you, we got to hold these elected officials responsible. We have so much stuff we're going to talk about, but before we get into that, I just have a question. Whatever happened to common decency? My brother and I ask this question all the time. Whatever happened to helping old ladies across the road? Whatever happened to saying thank you? Am I the only one that cringes when I hold the door from somebody? And I don't have to hold the door. I could just be a prick and let the door close on you. But does it burn? It just burns me up when people don't say thank you for little things, just common decency, folks. I think if we bring common decency back to our country, we'll be living in a lot better place. There's a lot of news for us to get to this morning, so we're going to get to it. But before we do that, I just want to say that the views expressed here on Top of the Morning are not the views of any political parties, organizations, any of our donors, underwriters, or sponsors. Those are the views of me. They're mine. So if you want to tweet angrily at someone, don't tweet angrily at our at our sponsor. So first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and this is an interesting story. This person, and I'm going to go person, not to be disrespectful, but this is a person. Like everybody else is a person. If you're confused as to whether this is a man or a woman, don't be. It's a man who thinks it's a woman. But the AP is reporting that this individual here, okay, is the first openly transgender person set to be executed in Missouri. This openly transgender person is in Missouri, is asking the governor for mercy. Lawyers for Amber McLaughlin, now 49, on Monday, asked Republican Governor Mike Parson to spare her. Now, I have a problem with the way this is written because saying you're a woman doesn't make you a woman. But McLaughlin was convicted of killing 45-year-old Beverly Gunther in November of 2003. Gunther was raped and stabbed to death in St. Louis County. So hold the freak on right there. So what you're telling me, Okay, I just want to make sure that I understand this. You get to rape someone and kill them and get sentenced to death, and now you want the judge to feel sorry for you for what? I think the story says this person is suffering from McLaughlin was committed. There's no known case of an openly transgender inmate being executed in the U.S. According to the Anti-Execution Death Penalty Information Center, it's wrong when anyone executed is when anyone is executed regardless, but I hope that this first doesn't occur. Federal Public Defender Larry Comp said Amber has shown great courage in embracing who's okay. It does not take courage to embrace. It takes courage to be a police officer. It takes courage to run into a burning building. It takes courage to raise your hand and swear an oath to defend the Constitution. It takes courage to be a sheriff. I dare say it takes courage to be in the Coast Guard. But dressing like a woman don't take courage. Yo, getting your joint chopped off, your Johnson chopped off, going sans Johnson. Well, I will say that takes a little courage, but not the kind that people think. Getting your joint cut off is not courage. We've got a really big problem in this country if we think that somebody pretending to be something they are not has courage. That is extremely troublesome. But this lawyer goes on to say that Amber's shown great courage in embracing who she is as a transgender woman, meaning a man, in spite of the potential for people reacting with hate. So I admire her courage of display. And you can tell this lawyer has already been stuck into the stupidity. McLaughlin's lawyer cited her traumatic childhood and mental health issues, which the juries never heard in the clemency petition. A foster parent rubbed feces in her face when she was a toddler, and her adoptive father tased her. According to the letter to Parsons, she tried to kill herself multiple times, both as a child and as an adult. So wait a minute. You have a traumatic childhood. It did not come up during your case, okay? This traumatic childhood issue you had didn't come up during the case. I raped and killed a lady because somebody did some foul stuff to me when I was a kid. And I'm not, folks, I know that life. I'm not saying somebody smeared feces on me, but my twin brother and I didn't have it easy on the come up. We didn't have it easy on the come up. So, this whole idea, it's just weird. It's just weird. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We're going to cover some more stuff right here on Top of the Morning. Don't go nowhere. Season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com.
Do you like NASCAR? Do you like a Tribe Called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you'd love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Yo, what's good, son? You like pit bulls, say? You like solving Sudoku puzzles? Then you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Hey, buddy, if your car making a sound like this, you might want to get you some power steering fluid and check out the Urban Conservative Podcast.
Are you repulsed by the idea of drag queen story time at your local library, but enjoy Carol Baskin TikTok memes? Then you would enjoy the Urban Conservative.
Do you want to slap your boss and then go home and make yourself some golden brown pancakes covered in butter and freshly made warm boysenberry syrup? Then you'll love the Urban Conservative.
You're a little over Cardi B, and you're repulsed by the thought of hog maw. Check out the Urban Conservative. Are you ready? If you think the earth is flat and always on that weird side of YouTube, check out the Urban Conservative. They'll set you straight. If you're in a chasing dopey and you love salt fish and festival, check out the Urban Conservative.
All right, folks, we're back on top of the morning. Really appreciate you being here with us on top of the morning. If you haven't done so already, please download the Millennium TV 24 app. And also, thanks for watching us on Roku, Amazon, and Apple TV. Anywhere you want to watch our content, you can definitely do that. Please show us some love at the Urban Conservative over at tuconservative.com. And folks, it couldn't get any better than this. I just got to tell you, if you don't know who that is on my screen, that is a lawyer who has been appointed. Governor Cooper has appointed a left, I love the way they call it, left of center lawyer, Allison Riggs, to fill a vacancy on the North Carolina Court of Appeals. She is a Democrat and will replace our good friend Richard Dietz. Republicans will still make a net gain of 1 seat on the state appeals court in 2023 after winning all 4 statewide races. Now, here's the thing, right? North Carolina Republicans ran a clean sweep. State Supreme Court, State Court of Appeals, all wins. Shouts out to our homeboy Trey Allen and again Judge Dietz that are now on the State Supreme Court. And then we have the advantage on the State Appeals Court. And I don't think the lady should be comfortable. I think she's going to be done here shortly as these next elections come up. But that goes to show you how tone deaf and how politicized the courts have become when you've got a Democrat governor who is appointing a Democrat and the state overwhelmingly voted for Republicans on the court. So that goes to speak to the tone deafness, if you will, that Roy Cooper has. And let me tell you something. Roy Cooper is going to do a lot of political moves in North Carolina as he's a lame duck governor. He just doesn't have doesn't have the support. And I think there's going to be some Democrats in the state house that will help Republicans override a veto. I don't think that Roy Cooper has that threat. Oh, I'll primary you. The other concern that I have, and I was talking to some people who are way smarter than me about this, is I'm a little concerned that Roy Cooper decides to throw his hat in the ring for governor in North Carolina, for president in 2024. Now, Cooper's a fund-raising machine. He raised a ton of money, and I think that he could do that on the national scene, but does he have what it takes to run for president? I'm sure Democrats will go for him. He doesn't come across as an extremely flashy guy. He doesn't have a lot of pizzazz. You know, the personality is kind of dry and safe. So I could see middle of the road Democrats voting for him and left-leaning unaffiliated voters, but I don't see who right now on the Democrat side would take his spot as governor. You know, they say AG, the Attorney General Josh Stein, is next up, and AG in some circles actually stand for almost governor. But one thing to keep in mind, folks, as we talk about the 2024 race here in North Carolina, I know we all love Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, but there's one thing you all have to consider that's never happened in North Carolina. That is a Republican lieutenant governor winning the governor's race. That has never happened. So Mark Robinson would be making history if that occurred, but I think it's also going to be dictated as to how well the conservatives come out, how well Republicans come out. So we've got to see what happens here in 2024. We're going to be tracking along throughout the primary process to see how that looks. And again, just tone deaf on the side of Roy Cooper appointing an activist Democrat lawyer to the Court of Appeals. I mean, don't get comfortable. I also got to give a big shout out to my homeboy Michael Stating. I saw him. Judge Stating is now on the Court of Appeals. We saw him at the State Executive Committee, and you know, a lot of folks out there. I know some Republican parties have called for a censure of their senators around this Respect for Marriage Act, and it's been kind of a back and forth thing, both for and against the censure. I myself personally don't think we need to give the media any more knives to stab us with. So I'd be very interested to talk with Senator Tillis myself. I'm going to try to get him on the show here to see what his thought process was going into that vote. And folks, look, at the end of the day, we here on our platform, we respect everybody, okay? We don't disrespect people. We don't, but I also think that a man is a marriage is between a man and a woman. It's just my personal thought. A couple of things that are coming up, and ooh, this is a very good one. As you can see here, Gavin Newsom is running into some issues in California, folks. And that this is the Oh man, I think this is a very interesting and telling thing that's going on here. San Bernardino County residents have voted to study secession from California. Oh my God. So, what would we have? Another state, the state of San Bernardino? I mean, could they technically secede? I mean, is that even a thing? I mean, but they San Bernardino County residents voted for officials to study the possibility of seceding from California as more grow increasingly tired of the state's far left policies. The county approved the advisory ballot proposal, which was voted on in November earlier this week. This is being reported by the AP. San Bernardino's Board of Supervisors' next step is likely to form a committee that will study if state and federal public funds were fairly distributed with local governments within the county. Kurt Hagman, the chairman of the Board of Supervisors, says there is a lot of frustration that San Bernardino residents have towards the left-wing government policies of Gavin Newsom and the Democrat-controlled state legislature. Residents in the county and the state pay the highest taxes in the nation while also living under soaring rates of crime, homelessness, and high housing costs. You don't say. Statewide, y'all voted for these people. You voted for him. That's your guy. That's who you wanted. Okay? Why does Gavin Newsom look like the bad guy in a Steven Seagal movie? I don't know why I get bad guy Steven Seagal vibe from him. I don't know what that's about. But y'all voted for these people in California. This is what you wanted in California. You wanted Gavin Newsom, like Larry Elder. I promise Larry Elder could have fixed a lot of this stuff y'all dealing with. Larry Elder would have straightened that state out, and I hope he runs again. But now you have San Bernardino County talking about exiting stage left. And that was something we covered on the Urban Conservative a couple of Monday nights ago, is you have people wanting to secede from Atlanta. I forgot the name of the municipality, but they want to leave Atlanta, do their own thing because of the crime, because of the far left policies. Just think about this. There are literally people in California who are being convicted of crimes, who have been heinous crimes, and then turn around and get released as if nothing happened, as if it's all good. There's no thing, okay? And look, we got a story about it. You thinking this isn't California, but this is the proof in the pudding right here. Look at this guy. Look at the face on that guy. Y'all know who that is? Okay, this guy right here is an accused illegal alien, child rapist, has been on the run for years. An illegal alien wanted for allegedly raping a child has been captured by ICE years after the Sanctuary County in New Jersey freed him from custody. Okay, Luciano Trejo Dominguez, 31-year-old illegal alien from Mexico, in Santa Cala. He was in California after being freed. He's been on the run since late 2019 when he was released by Cumberland County, New Jersey, and they caught him in California. Okay? He's wanted in Portland, Maine for criminal restraint, aggravated sexual assault, aggravated criminal sexual conduct, and endangering sexual conduct. In Cumberland County, he's wanted for failure to appear on related aggravated sexual assault offense involving a victim 13 to 15. In October 21, when a federal immigration judge ordered Trejo Dominguez deported, he was placed on ICE's most wanted list. ICE agents have since deported him. Similarly, last week, an illegal alien accused of killing a 66-year-old was captured by federal officials 11 years after he was freed from local police custody by the sanctuary city of Chicago. So here's what you got. You got these woke politicians. We have to see the good in everyone because, everyone has the potential to be good. That guy is out here raping babies, and you think he has the potential to be good. I say we chemically castrate them and then send them back the way. These people don't need to be allowed to procreate. In my book, you're not going to convince me. Oh, well, the trauma in his child. No. Anytime you touch a child, all bets is off. I think we need to castrate them. Judge me if you want to judge me, but I think we need to chemically castrate you if you touch a baby. Period. You don't need to. Your joint should not be working if you touch a baby. Okay, but on a political side of this, on the other side of this, you have these people, politicians, that people for some reason in Chicago, y'all keep voting for these Democrats. In California, y'all keep voting for them. In Georgia is a prime example. Look at Atlanta. Look at the crime there. Look at the amount of Democrats that y'all vote for. Look at New York City. Look at the crime that's going on there. Look at Memphis, Tennessee. Look at the crime going on there. Look in California, LA, and San Francisco. We've actually done that showed you what's going on there, and they keep turning around and letting people like this out who have touched children. I'm sorry, folks. I think we should castrate these people. I think we should chemically cut their joints off. You should not be allowed to procreate. You should be not allowed to have any sexual enjoyment at all in your life once you touch a kid, or rape somebody for that matter. But then we're going to have these social justice warriors screaming out, but what about the criminal and his... No. I don't care. Okay? At the end of the day, you touch a kid, you ought to be castrated. Something ought to happen to you. We should throw you under the jail. You should never get out. You should not be allowed to be free ever again. And these judges that are releasing these people, they ought to be a damn shame to themselves. I don't understand how you can be a judge saying that you want to protect the community. As a judge, you're supposed to be impartial. You're supposed to exercise the law, okay? Mercy is the suspension of justice. We don't need mercy for criminals like this who've been found to commit heinous things like children, touching children. She said the victim in that case is a 13 to 15-year-old. Absolutely bonkers, folks. Absolutely bonkers. And this is the stuff that people in these liberal towns want to vote for. This is what they want to go for. It's absolutely bonkers. We're going to take a very quick commercial break, and we will be right back here on Top of the Morning. We got some more stuff to cover for you this morning. Don't go nowhere.
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome back to Top of the Morning, folks. I hope you are enjoying your morning with a good cup of coffee. It is December the 19th, 2022, and Joe Biden is still the worst president in U.S. history. I'm Addul Ali. If you're just jumping in, thanks for watching on Amazon, Apple, and Samsung TV on Millennium TV 24. We really appreciate you guys. Also, if you haven't done so already, follow us on all social media at The Urban Conservative, man. We really appreciate the love, and every Monday night, 8 p.m. So tonight you'll have me, a double dose. Me and my twin brother will be live tonight. This will be one of our final shows of the year. I want to give a big shout out to all of our underwriters and our sponsors for 2023. If you enjoy what we do here, want to support the platform, please don't hesitate to jump on over to tuconservative.com. Reach out to us anywhere on social media at The Urban Conservative. And folks, you see it on the screen. I am, I don't want to say creature of habit, but I tend to watch, if I like a movie, I tend to watch it like a lot. I think I've probably watched the movie 300 no less than 1,000 times. I've probably watched Beowulf probably a couple of 100,000 times. There's certain movies when I like them, I really like them, and I can watch them over because I look for the nuance. I look for the little things, right? And Avatar was one of those movies. I actually was really looking forward to this second Avatar. Okay, I was really looking forward to it, but I'm not happy about what I'm hearing about it. So my daughter's home from NC State. She went to go see a private screening of it because her boyfriend works at the movie theater, and she was very underwhelmed, which kind of dropped my lessened my interest in going to see the film. And now, reportedly, this movie is not doing as good as it should be doing. This, according to the Hollywood Reporter, box office Avatar 2 opens to 134 million, behind expectation, but still sizable. The big budget tentpole will need strong legs in North America over the year and holidays. Globally, it launched to 435 million, but that is nothing compared to what it cost probably to make this movie. So it did top the domestic box office with an estimated $134 million opening, less than expected. Even rival studios believe Avatar 2 will have robust legs over the holidays and into 2023, thanks to a cinema score and strong audience exit scores. Traditionally, weekdays can be like a Saturday between now and the new year. Distribution sources also say advanced ticket sales are spread into this week versus being front-loaded. So overseas, the 3D movie debuted to 301 million for a global start of 435 million, among the best showings of the pandemic era. From Disney and 20th Century Fox, The Way of Water cost $300 to $400 million to produce, making it one of the most expensive movies in modern Hollywood history. $400 million to make a movie. Okay, it's a lot of money to make a movie. So y'all jump in the comment section. Let us know if you're gonna go see Avatar this week. I hope it's not as bad as my daughter said it was. She said the graphics were a little cheesy. I think now the CG and what's happening in movies, it's kind of wearing off its the new car smell is kind of going away, as it were. So I don't know. I'm going to watch the movie. I'll let you guys know what I think about it. We'll see what happens with Avatar 2. And from what my daughter was telling me, they're actually going to make multiple of these. And so we'll see what happens. I also, real quick, I was asked about this, and this is an interesting story, something y'all ought to be aware of, and maybe this will become a trend throughout the country, not sure. But what we're looking at here is MUSC to no longer hold pediatric transgender clinics. This is the Medical University of South Carolina, and they announced that they're dropping their pediatric transgender clinics. The clinics provided hormonal care to minors. In other words, you was wrecking kids' bodies is what you were doing. Somebody, thank the heavens, somebody got half a brain and decided that, we shouldn't be destroying kids' lives like this. We don't know what we're doing. There's no long-term studies about the effects of hormonal treatment on minors for transgender, for crossing over. There's no real way to look at this and say, there's a history that we can go back to. There's what they call a body of evidence, if you will, that says that this is good. So according to this, they are no longer hosting their transgender medical surgery unit. And I'm not mad at that. In the response, the South Carolina Freedom Caucus, which is made up of conservative politicians around the state, called this decision a huge win. This is a huge win for the Freedom Caucus, but more importantly, it's a win for childhood innocence, said Chairman Adam Morgan, a Republican out of Greenville. Officials from the MUSC have informed us that they will no longer be providing morally and ethically repugnant gender-affirming care that results in irrevocable and irreparable harm for minors. Hats off. The MUSC released the following statements related to the decision and its current policies. And this is where it gets good. MUSC Health has worked diligently to make sure that we are in compliance with the 22-23 Appropriations Act and Proviso 23.4, and will do the same with any future legislative requirements and directives. MUSC Health does not have a dedicated pediatric adolescent transgender endocrine clinic because you're jacking up these kids' endocrine systems. When you start injecting this stuff into them, you're destroying these kids' endocrine system. MUSC Health no longer provides pediatric/adolescent gender hormonal care. Good job. MUSC Health does not offer gender altering surgery. We're going to stop cutting little boys' penises off, okay? We're going to stop doing that. It's a terrible idea. And years later, these kids have to deal with the repercussions of that. I saw that congressional hearing where the lady said, "I don't know anybody that detransition is not a thing." Yeah, it is. Detransitioning is definitely a thing, and it's not that hard to find. You just go out there and look for it. Just Google detransitioning. They also said behavioral health and nutritional support and social services are provided based on need for all pediatric patients and families, regardless of sex, gender orientation, or race. It used to be sexual orientation. Now it's gender orientation, because you can be oriented a certain way as a gender, I guess. I don't know. But the parents or legal guardians of any patient under legal age are involved in all decision-making regarding their children. The South Carolina Freedom Caucus says they were told about the decision on Tuesday, and the South Carolina Medical University of South Carolina officials did not respond to this channel's request. The exact date is up in the air as to when this clinic actually stops. So shout out to the Medical University of South Carolina for recognizing that destroying kids is not a good idea. I mean, I hate that it took so much to figure out, but it is not a good idea to be sexually, hormonally mutilating children. Not a good look. Not something we ought to be doing as a society, as a culture, as a country, right? We ought to be wrapping our hands, our arms around children who are going through such. I couldn't imagine being in a mental state where I wasn't sure if I was a boy or I couldn't fathom it, and I feel for those folks, but to give them hormones or to give them surgery, to manipulate the genitals, to just basically chemically castrate a little boy before he's even hit puberty, before his body's had a chance to develop. I mean, come on, folks. What are we actually doing as a society if we're going along with this? So real quick, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on Top of the Morning. Get yourself a cup of coffee. We got some more fun stuff coming up right here on Millennium TV 24. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back to Top of the Morning, folks. I'm your host, Addul Ali. I hope you have got yourself a good cup of coffee and that your morning is going good so far. We want to thank you for watching here on Millennium TV 24. You're on Amazon, Apple, or Roku TV, and we really appreciate you doing so. Make sure you download that Millennium TV 24 app so that you can keep up with our shows anywhere you like. This morning, we've got a couple of things to cover, and this is going to be interesting when you see this guy's face, okay? This guy always looks so confused. Why does this guy always look so confused? It's probably because he is always confused. Totally, completely bereft of any type of non-confusion. This guy is so gone, right? But here's the thing. You think about what's happening, and y'all are gonna lose your cool when I say this, right? You're gonna lose your cool when I say this, right? The U.S. is buying 3 million barrels of oil to start replenishing the strategic oil reserve that Joe Biden and this administration released to deflate gas prices right before the election. And we all knew that was going to happen. We all knew it was going to be a thing. We all knew that they were going to release oil from the strategic oil reserve. Okay, we knew that was going to happen. And now we have to go buy 3 million barrels of oil. This being reported by the AP that the Biden administration said this on Friday. It's buying 3 million barrels of oil from who, I wonder. to begin to replenish the strategic reserves that officials drained earlier this year in a bid to stop gasoline prices rising amid production cuts by OPEC and a ban on Russian oil imports. President Biden withdrew 180 million barrels from the strategic reserve starting in March, bringing the stockpile to its lowest level since the 80s. The purchase to begin in January will start to replenish the reserve and is likely to be followed by additional purchases. This coming from the Energy Department called the purchase a good deal for American taxpayers since the price will be lower than the $96 per barrel average the U.S. was sold oil for. The replenishment would also strengthen U.S. energy security, the department said in a statement. The purchase price was not announced, but benchmark West Texas Intermediate crude oil was selling at $74.50 a barrel late on Friday. Gasoline prices, meanwhile, average about $3.18 per gallon on Friday, down from $3.74 just a month ago, and just over $5 a gallon at their peak in June, according to AAA Auto Club. Tapping the reserve is among the few things the president can do by himself to try to control the inflation that makes Americans poorer and often creates a political liability for the party in control of the White House. And the global oil prices were rising even before Russia invaded Ukraine last February, when Biden announced a ban on Russian oil imports in early March. He acknowledged it would come at a cost to the American consumer. Now, here's the problem, and this is the crux of this. Why are we buying oil from anywhere? We have it right under our feet in Texas and Louisiana, right? We have it here. We just a little over 2.5 years ago were energy independent. How did we do that? We weren't buying oil. We weren't begging Venezuela. We weren't begging Russia. We weren't begging the Saudis. We weren't begging OPEC. We were energy independents. We were a net exporter of oil and natural gas. So now we got to turn around and buy stuff when we can produce it ourselves. Donald Trump was right, man. I don't hate to say it. It's true. Trump was right, man. We need to be America first, energy independent. We need to get back to that. So this buying this oil is not a good deal for the taxpayer. It's really not. What would be a good deal for the taxpayer is to make our country go back to energy independence. That would be the best thing for our country. Not this buying oil from probably, most likely, and I noticed they were very strategic in not releasing where the oil was going to come from. Okay, they're not going to tell us that because it's probably going to buy it from Russia. They're going to probably go to one of our worst enemies. They're going to probably buy it from some country that would love nothing more than to see the U.S. collapse. Okay, this is where we are as a society with Clown Joe. Joe Biden, Jim Codro, and Joe and Lock a Brother Up Harris are just absolutely ridiculous. But folks, your tax money going to buy oil when we could be producing our own. I mean, that's just basically the crux of the matter. I mean, and unfortunately, when you look at this, we all knew it was political. We all knew what was going to happen. They were going to go down this rabbit hole of keeping the gas price low before the election just to make sure that they can, politically support their things. Okay, I don't get it. So I don't understand. But one other thing I gotta talk to y'all about this, and then this is something that is I don't even know how to say this. Right? I'm just gonna show it to you. I'll just show it to you. What is that? Somebody help me out. I know we just were talking about the fuel cost, but why does Nike have a dude in a skirt? Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. The effeminization of men, effeminization is the right word. The far left's push, woke corporate companies like this push to effeminize men. Okay, bro got on a whole live Catholic schoolgirl skirt. What the hell is going on when you got dudes? This is supposed to be a picture of masculinity. Okay, this is what we're supposed to be looking up to. This is what they want your little boys looking up to, is a dude in a skirt. It's what they want us looking up to, guys. This is right on point right on parcel with wokeism in this country. You put a dude in a skirt and some Nikes. I personally don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know who the young man is, but they got you, bro. Yeah, they got you. Whatever that. I hope that check was worth it. Cause yeah, no, not cool at all. It's really not cool at all. And then it's kind of like the other side of this where we see people supporting what's the rapper's name, Young Thug and all of that. These are dudes that have been running around in dresses and skirts. I mean, I think there was a picture of Young Thug running around in a dress, kissing dudes on the mouth. Right? This is what they. This is who they promote. This is who they want us to believe is what our young men should be looking up to. This doesn't make any type of sense whatsoever. Okay, this is a hold on. This is it. Hold on. This is crazy. I gotta find this thing because it's absolutely bonkers, folks. They put these young men up here. They put these most of the time kids with no dads. Most of the time kids from very challenging social economic conditions. They give them a crap ton of money, right? And this is what you get for that. They end up putting you in a dress like that, right? Just for the money, so that you could get out there and what is this? I don't even get it. Like, I don't understand it. This is look, even back then, my brother and I talked about this. There was a lot of suspect stuff going on in hip hop back in the 80s. There's a lot of suspect things with the choker chains and the things on and all that kind of stuff. But this is what they want us to look like. This is absolutely nuts. All right. It's y'all talking about he gangster and he thugged out and all of that. I don't know if I'm down with that. You know, I can't imagine Biggie coming out or Tupac coming out in a dress. Okay, I can't imagine it. All right, but this is what y'all looking up to. This is what they got y'all looking up to. These so-called companies, these woke companies, got us looking at this stuff as if this is normal, right? And then crazy part is you have so many people who call themselves Christians who support this, turn around and support this, or call themselves whatever and turn around and support this. This is absolutely bonkers, folks. They put that little boy up there in a daggone Catholic schoolgirl dress looking bonkers. Doesn't make any kind of sense, folks. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on Top of the Morning. Don't go nowhere.
This episode of The Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
Well, I'm from the Bronx, but I live in the D now, of course, with the, Detroit. You went from the Bronx to Detroit. Bronx to Detroit. On 58th Street. You was trying to keep it hood. I wrote this textbook. It's gonna be a lecture. This textbook, yeah. So go ahead, do it.
Did you start getting into the herbs?
Daughter had got run over by a car. She was 4 years old, and they said she would never walk again. Her neck was broken, and her back was broken in 3 places of spine. And I kind of took over where the doctors couldn't fill in. The accident happened August 28th. I had her back walking again, maybe that March.
All right, folks, welcome back to Top of the Morning. I am your host, Addul Ali. Thanks for checking us out on Millennium TV 24 on Amazon, Apple, or Amazon, Apple, Roku TV. We really appreciate you taking some time to kick it with us this morning. Very interesting stuff. A lot of y'all know, folks watching at home and listening, y'all know that I'm a Republican. I make no bones about my conservatism and being a Republican. Well, there is going to be a lot of talk about this young lady right here. And if you don't know who that is Miss Ronna McDaniel, who is the current chair of the RNC. Okay. Now, Ronna McDaniel has been all over the country, and I think it's fair to say that she's gotten mixed reviews. Her performance, some say the red wave was more of a red trickle, and Some say that it is in part, majorly, in part, a huge part due to the work of the RNC and the failures of the RNC. And we didn't get good candidates, and we didn't do this, we didn't do that. There are some folks who are pushing for what's the My Pillow guy? What's the Mike Lindell? I personally don't want to see Lindell. Nah, I think he's too far out there to be the RNC chair. I don't see that happening. But a lot of folks are up in arms saying that Ronna McDaniel needs to be replaced as the RNC chair. I don't know about that. I'm hearing that she has a ton of support out there already. She's saying that her this report from Fox News is saying that her support is pretty solid as she faces challengers in a re-election bid. She navigates a nasty family feud in her bid for another 2-year term, steering the GOP's National Party Committee. Some of her rivals question the depth of her advertised support for re-election, but McDaniel, in an interview with Fox News Digital, described as pretty solid. She says her backing by over 100 RNC committee members, which would far exceed the simple majority of the 168 members needed to secure a fourth 2-year term that would be unprecedented in modern times. She called some of the criticism directed at her challengers self-serving, which I get the vibe of. I've not seen. I don't know Harmeet Dillon. I don't know that lady. I've never seen Mike Lindell do anything that didn't make him money or promote his products. I don't see it. I mean, to be honest with you, I can't tell you one thing Mike Lindell has done for the Republican Party. I can't tell you one thing. I don't know Harmeet Dillon. I don't know her personally. I don't know what she's done. I don't know what she hasn't done. But I'm telling you, I do know what Ronna McDaniel has done. I did go to the Robeson County RNC Community Center. I did go to the Greensboro Black Engagement Center. I did go to the one up there near Jacksonville. I do know for a fact that there was an unprecedented effort to support what we were doing as Black conservatives, as Republicans, and folks wanting to spread that message. I worked hand in hand with the RNC Victory team. So I think Ronna has done some things that are good. And are you going to get criticized no matter what you do in politics? Absolutely. So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on it. But Ronna so far seems to think that she has this well in hand. And I personally would hope so. I think that there's obviously going to be some room for improvement. But I don't think we need to change the direction now. I think we need to make some improvement. So right around the 50-minute mark, you are watching Top of the Morning. Every morning, 8 a.m., right here on the Urban Conservative, right here on Millennium TV 24, on your Amazon Roku or Apple TV, your Samsung TV. You can watch along anytime, anywhere by downloading the Millennium 24 app for both Android and for Apple. We really appreciate the love on that front. A couple of other things we're going to talk about this morning. And look, I don't think for one second, okay, I don't judge people on the way they look, right? I normally don't judge people on the way they look. You know, the whole don't judge a book by the cover thing. But both y'all look like criminals. Y'all look like you should be in jail. I don't want these two women here. These two women are actually arrested after running a traveling drug roadshow. Juanita Rose Fluquez and Lauren Ashley Rossetti were expecting to land a lucrative drug sale when they were arrested. They were taken into custody after attempting to bring their drug roadshow to South Florida. One is 25, the other's 32, were identified by the Martin County Sheriff's as key suspects in an ongoing sale and distribution of cocaine and meth in the Treasure Coast area. They do look very methy. Detectives arrested the women Friday night, according to the sheriff's office, and they're expecting to land a lucrative deal. The sale turned out to be a bust, leading to their arrest. They were caught with 8 ounces of meth and a half a gram of cocaine at the time of their arrest. Now, that's not a lot. You're not like major dealers, but here's where this gets interesting. They also found in the suspect's hotel room 16 grams of fentanyl and their own supply of Narcan. You know why they had that fentanyl, that Narcan? Because you can't even touch that fentanyl stuff. You can't. There are stories from across the country of police deputies, having to be administered Narcan from just touching the stuff that suspects have it. And these folks had ounces of it, 16 grams of it, which is enough to kill a few adults. That's enough to do a lot of damage. So shouts out to law enforcement getting these two retards off the street. Now, oh, you said retard. Yeah, you retarded. If you out there slinging that stuff, something wrong with you. Okay, I'm not saying you're mentally handy. No, you stupid. You out there doing that. And y'all look like criminals. Just one last time, get a load of that. Okay, just get a load of that. Let that sink in real quick. Okay, when we talk about mentally unstable, homegirl on the left looks completely mentally unstable. A couple of other things we're going to cover real quick before we get out of here for the morning. I don't care about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I don't know why anybody cares. I just don't know why they get any kind of press at all. I don't understand it. This is if you're in the New York area, this is something I definitely wanted to touch on this morning. So check this out. As bad as crime is in New York, NYPD ends prolonged street stops to check for warrants after lawsuit. Okay, so what this is about is basically the New York City Police Department has ended their prolonged street stops to check for arrest warrant and ties to other cases as part of a settlement. The NYPD is committed to upholding the constitutional rights of individuals and has agreed to clarify existing policy to make it clear when officers can run a warrant query during a detainment, a person for the city's law department said. The New York Police Department settled the lawsuit Friday with stipulations that police officers only check for arrest warrants if they have reasonable suspicion, and that the suspect was committed or is about to commit a crime, or if there's probable cause that the suspect has committed a crime. I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. You got to respect people's constitutional rights. But one thing I do recognize is that New York is going down the wayside with the amount of crime that's there. Y'all should have voted for Lee Zeldin. Y'all should have put Lee in there as governor. Okay, I know some of the state went red, but y'all really, really need to get Republican governor in New York. We need to end this cash bail thing. We need to start putting some teeth back in the criminal justice system. Now it's like, oh, I don't mind going to jail. I'll get satellite TV. I'll get 3 hots and a cot. And really, what's going to stop me? If you're throwing bricks and hitting people in the face and they're letting you out with no cash bail, there's no real and discouraging thing for you to commit crime. It's just I'm gonna get out anyway. It doesn't matter. So, New York City is gonna just stop, I guess, checking for people for warrants on the street. I guess that's what they're gonna go for in that. And hey, more power to you. If you think that's protecting the people of your city, it's not. It's really not helping. It's not doing anybody a world of good to release people. And look, at the end of the day, at the end of the show here, folks. This is where we need to start, especially you folks up in New York. Y'all need to start getting control of things at a local level. DAs, right? Your judges, your local judges that you elect. You need to get strong conservative people in there so that we can protect people, because that's the job of law enforcement, is to protect people while observing their rights. So this has been Top of the Morning. We're at the close of the show for today. I hope you all have a wonderful Monday. Get out there, work hard, do the right thing, take care of your neighbors. We will see you tomorrow morning, right back here, 8 a.m. for Top of the Morning, right here on the Urban Conservative and Millennium 24 TV. Thanks for watching on Amazon, Roku, or Apple TV. Again, make sure you download that app so that you can watch our show anytime, anywhere. We really appreciate you. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and Top of the Morning, folks.
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.